Most people know the stress of running out of money before the month ends. Nearly half of U.S. households report spending every dollar they earn, or even more, each month. Governments, like families, often borrow to cover gaps in spending, though on a far larger scale. Unlike individuals, governments have tools to disguise overspending. Terms like quantitative easing, fiscal stimulus, or yield curve control. Behind the jargon, the effect is the same. Citizens' purchasing power quietly erodes while the government continues spending. The cycle usually starts innocently. Tax revenue falls short of ambitious programs, so governments borrow. But borrowing rarely ends with repayment. Instead, governments pay interest while continuing to borrow more, funding promises made by politicians. When borrowing can't keep up with spending, governments turn to monetary measures. Printing money, officially called quantitative easing. This inflates the currency, subtly reducing the value of the dollars in everyone's wallets. Central banks play a key role. Analysts call it fiscal dominance. Governments with heavy debts push central banks to keep interest rates low to make debt cheaper to service. Low rates are intended to encourage borrowing and spending, stimulating the economy. But investors watching political uncertainty from France to Japan demand higher yields to compensate for risk, putting pressure on governments to debase their currencies to continue borrowing. This is why savvy investors, including Ray Dalio, have been buying gold and silver. Bloomberg calls it the debasement trade. As government debt and currencies lose value, gold has risen over 50% this year, and silver over 78%, reflecting money fleeing debt-based assets for tangible stores of value. Currency debasement is nothing new. Ancient rulers diluted gold and silver coins to stretch spending without changing face value, reducing their intrinsic worth. Today, modern governments achieve the same through money creation. U.S. federal debt now hovers around $38 trillion, and each new round of borrowing subtly dilutes the purchasing power of every existing dollar. This structural debasement has become a permanent feature of fiscal policy, and citizens are the ones paying the hidden cost. Over the past decade, central banks have expanded balance sheets by over $25 trillion. As inflation slowly erodes the value of savings, assets with intrinsic value, like gold and silver, rise. For anyone relying on dollars, the question is clear. How far will your money go in the years ahead? The story is global. From the US to Japan, France, and the UK, governments continue spending more than they collect. Meanwhile, precious metals quietly soar, reflecting a world